Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Tuesday, the 4th of June 2024, and in today's video I'm going to decipher for you Psalm 79. Okay, now Psalm 79 is a very intriguing psalm because in my view then it's actually a multi-dispensational psalm, if you like. Okay, especially verse 1. Now, of course, I do have a problem here of notes that I will be going through regarding this psalm. So this is going to be my 69th well first. Okay, folks. So let us go back here to Psalm 79, verse by verse. It's actually quite an important one because it's regarding Israel's three temples. Okay, now we've got a future one coming up to be built at the back end of the church age, according to Isaiah chapter 2 and according to Micah chapter 4. Okay, now it reads, O God, the heathen are come into thy inheritance, thy holy temple have they defiled, they have laid Jerusalem on heaps. So verse 1 is actually an important verse and lies the foundation, if you like, regarding all of Israel's temple. Okay, the first temple, which was defiled by the Babylonians. Okay, and then Israel got to rebuild the second temple with the help of the Persians, of course, King Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes. Okay, and we know that the second temple then was defiled by the Romans in 70 AD, but it will be rebuilt again according to the prophecies of Isaiah in chapter 2 and also Micah chapter 4. Of course, I'm talking about the third temple, okay? And then it says here, they have laid Jerusalem on heaps. Now, this verse is very important because we have to decipher it according to its correct dispensation, especially if we are going to talk about the three temples, right? Of course. So if we go to my notes here, okay, so the first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians, the second temple by the Romans, and the third temple is going to be defiled by the Antichrist, or better known as the Son of Perdition, according to Paul, okay? But this is going to happen in the second half of the tribulation period. So verse 1 lies the foundational basis regarding the three temples, if you like, or Israel's three temples, as a multi-dispensational verse, if you like. Okay, now the first and second temple were built under the law. Okay, now the third temple is going to be built at the back end of the church age, but it's going to be defiled during the tribulation period, okay, by the Antichrist. Think of the abomination of desolation in the second half of the tribulation period, okay? So the first and second temples have been defiled, okay? The first one I said to you already by the Babylonians, the second by the Romans, but the third temple will be defiled by the abomination of desolation and by the armies that will encompass Jerusalem. See Luke 21:20, okay? So this is why Psalm 79 is actually a very intriguing and important psalm, because it's talking about Israel's three temples. I know here it says temple, it doesn't have an S, okay? But it's actually is a multi-dispensational verse because it's actually referring to all the temples, not just one temple, because all the temples of Israel, the future one, the third one, will be defiled as well, okay? And of course, they have laid Jerusalem on heaps, okay? So now, before I go any further, I know that the book of Psalms was written under the law. I understand that, but of course, the book of Psalms is a book of prophecies, And many of the Psalms are actually multi-dispensational. Many, I decipher many which are actually for the millennial kingdom. Okay? And generally speaking, if you read verse 1, it's saying here that, let's read it again. Oh God, the heathen are come into thy inheritance. Okay? In other words, that they go in, or the nations have come into Israel and to the holy temples, okay, of God, if you like, and they have defiled two already, but one yet to come during the tribulation. And you know, and with all of them, the end result is that they're gonna lie Jerusalem on heaps. Okay, so the Babylonians, okay, and the Romans as well. Both of them have light Jerusalem on heaps when they destroy both the first and the second temple, and of course the third temple will be defiled as well during the second half of the tribulation period by the Antichrist and by those armies that encompass Jerusalem. If you read Luke 21, verse 20, okay? Now, the dead bodies of thy servants. Now, servants is actually an interesting word here because servants is often referred to the prophets, okay? If you read, for example, like on verse 2 on my notes here, okay, the word servant normally refers to prophecy, Acts chapter 1, verse 18. See Kings, or First Kings if you like, chapter 18, verse 36, or Elijah if you like, talks about Elijah. See Revelation 11, verse 18. Now, also the word saints doesn't appear very often under the Old Testament. We know that Paul uses the word saints quite a lot, especially if you read 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. So, verse 2 is actually an interesting one. You don't normally read the word saints under the Old Testament. Okay, so this is actually quite interesting. And like I said earlier, servants refers to, most of the time, it's referring to prophets. Now, think, for example, when the third temple is going to be defiled by the Antichrist in the second half of the tribulation period, the servants or the prophets are going to be Moses and Elijah, who are going to be killed by the devil, okay, and then God is going to rise them up and take them back to heaven. So, and they will lie there dead for 3 days. So, they are going to be meat unto the first of heaven, if you like. But God obviously He's going to intervene supernaturally. He's not going to allow that to happen. But nonetheless, He will rise them and take them back to heaven after 3 days, according to the book of Revelation. So, it's actually quite an intriguing psalm, this one. The blood had shed like water round about Jerusalem, and there was none to bury them. Think about what I just told you about Moses and Elijah. There was none to bury them. Nobody will go near the bodies of Moses and nobody's going to go near, rather, to see the bodies of Moses and Elijah when they die at the end of the first half of the tribulation period. So this is actually quite interesting. Verse 4, we are become a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and derision to them that are round about us. Of course, if you think about what happened when Israel lost the first temple, also the second temple, and also even the third temple, when the Abomination of Desolation happens and the armies encompass Jerusalem, okay? So Israel is going to be a reproach in the future to their neighbors, but this also happened to them during the first and the second temple period as well. And it says here on verse 5, how long, Lord, will thou be angry forever? Shall thy jealousy burn like fire? Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have not called upon thy name. Well, that's exactly what happened, when the first temple was burned down by the Babylonians. Okay, God punished the Babylonians. Okay, the Persians took over. They defeated the Babylonians, and under King Cyrus, followed by Darius and Artaxerxes, kings of Persia, of course, Israel was able to rebuild the second temple. And yeah, don't forget also that very soon the third temple is also going to be built. Okay. Verse 6. Pour out thy wrath upon the heathen that have not known thee, and upon the kingdoms that have no call upon thy name. That has happened, with the first and second temples. And, when Jesus comes back for the millennial kingdom, he will punish all the heathen in the valley of Jehoshaphat. So, for that hath devoured Jacob. Yes, this has happened first and second temples. And that is going to happen also with the third temple in the second half of the tribulation period, when the Abomination of Desolation takes place, and the armies encompass Jerusalem. Okay, for they have devoured Jacob, and likewise his dwelling place. Oh, remember not against us for my iniquities. Let that light, thy tender mercies speedily prevent us, for we are brought very low. Yeah, of course, losing the three temples, yeah, Israel will be brought very low. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Of course, you need to think of the consequences. Help us, O God of our salvation, for the glory of thy name, and deliver us, and purge away our sins for thy name's sake. Of course, we know that, if you look at Romans 11:26 and verse 27 as well, okay, it says that all of Israel shall be saved, but this is only going to happen during the millennial kingdom, okay? So yeah, God is going to purge away their sins, but this is going to happen. This prophecy in Romans 11:26 and verse 27, this is all going to happen during the millennial kingdom, when all of Israel shall be saved. Because don't forget that according to Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, only 1/3 will make it through into the millennial kingdom, and those that make it through, all of them will be saved. Okay, so verse 10 then, wherefore should the heathen say, where is their God? Let him be known among the heathen in our sight by the revenging of the blood of the servant which is shed. Yeah, of course, if you think about, when the first temple went down, then God raised up, Persia. Okay, they defeated the Babylonians, and then Israel was able to build the second temple under King Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, right? The second temple was burned down by the Romans, but, we need a third temple, okay? And, it's going to be rebuilt, very soon, before the rapture of the church. Okay, so verse 11, let the singing of the prisoner come before thee according to the greatness of thy power. Preserve thou those that are appointed to die. If I could just get the cell phone to refocus. Okay. And render unto our neighbors sevenfold into their bosom their reproach, wherewith they have reproached thee, O Lord. So yeah, basically it's saying that, God is going to punish them 7 times fold in hell, in their bosom. You don't expect these people that have defiled God's, temple, okay, holy temple, that God is going to forgive them, We're talking about heathen here, folks, So, anyway, so we thy people and keep of thy pasture will give thee thanks forever. We will show forth thy praise to all generations. Yeah, of course, the Jewish people are very happy, we're very happy to rebuild the first and second temples and also the third temple as well. So especially right now, there's a lot of talk about the rebuilding of the third temple. So yeah, it's actually yeah, a very intriguing sum, this one here. You know, although it's talking about the Holy Temple, and it doesn't have an S to indicate the plurality of the three temples, then it's actually a verse that, generally speaking, is talking about the three temples and the future third temple as well. Okay, it's kind of like a multi-dispensational verse. I mean, psalm rather, if you like, in verse as well. This verse 1 that lies the foundation for the whole context here. So, of course, as I said, first and second will build under the law, and the third will be built very soon in the church age before the rapture of the church. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.